Hi, 8th grade. Today we're going to talk about rates and ratios. So this is the start of chapter 5. I already wrote some definitions out for you. So if you want to kind of take the time to do that, you can. So a ratio is a comparison of two quantities by division. So I believe they'll probably ask you to write these ratios 3 different ways. So one way is to write it as a fraction, A over B. Another way you might see it was with a colon, A to B. And then like in a word problem, they will actually use the word to. So if they ask you to write the 3, they just mean to write it in the 3 different ways. So if I was doing 8 ounces to 3 pounds, okay, that would be the fractional way. It could look like this, 8 ounces to 3 pounds. Or it could just look like 8 ounces to 3 pounds, okay? Most of the time we're going to use the fraction way. That's the way you see it the most. But they will want you to do it all 3 ways. So you're going to do it as a fraction, with a colon, and with the word to. Okay, so beyond the ratio, there's a rate. And so a rate is a ratio that compares 2 different kinds of units. And actually what I had here is a rate above. So ounces and pounds are different kinds of units. So that's actually a rate up there. Okay, ratio usually doesn't have 2 different units. They just save that for the rate here. So when you see like meters per second, or if you see miles per hour, that's why you sometimes see it like this. That word per comes into play here. Miles per gallon in a car. Like BPM, beats per minute. So sometimes it's like that. Once in a while, you'll see things like meters per second squared. You'll see that in science more often than not. So those are different kinds of rates. So they may ask you to find the rate. Now, there's such thing as a unit rate. So we haven't introduced this word this year yet, but it's slope. A unit rate is just the slope. And as we get into things that are talking about slope, you'll just be finding unit rates is what's going to happen. And so it's a rate per one. So here's some examples. Like if I had $11 for 4 boxes of Lucky Charms. Okay, so the unit rate for that would be me just dividing, and you have to make sure that it's 11 by 4. Always take the money divided by the amount. And so if you take 11 divided by 4, you can do that on a calculator. The calculator will say 2.75. And so what that means is that it's $2.75 per box. And so you can write it out like $2.75 per box. You can write $2.75 per box. And so that's for 1 box. So there's a 1 right here, but nobody ever writes it. But sometimes you need to know that it's there. So if you want a unit rate, you just need to divide one by the other. Another example of this may be $125.63 for 8 shirts. So you can go in the store and buy 8 shirts, and we want to know the price per shirt. That's kind of what they're asking, price per shirt. If they ask that, they're wanting the unit rate or the slope of this problem. So you're just going to take 125.63, divide it by 8 on your calculator. Your calculator will say 15.7. That's going to transfer into $15.70 per shirt. Okay, so that's kind of what you're going to just label them. Make sure that you label your problems today. Make sure you write it out. Okay, so the next part is which is the better buy. So if you go in a store and they have like a big ketchup and a little ketchup, one of those probably is better per ounce. Okay, so we're going to kind of go with this. We got store 1. And store 1 is doing 10 Tootsie Rolls. I think there's a T in there. Tootsie Rolls for $1.52. Okay. And store 2 is selling 9 Tootsie Rolls. Now you would hope that it's a little a little bit cheaper here, since there's only 9, and it is a little bit cheaper. It's $1.45. So these prices are very, very close together. Now, let's say that you needed a whole bunch of Tootsie Rolls for something. You, of course, want to pay less. Okay, so which one's cheaper? That is the question here. Which one is cheaper? So what I need to do is I need to find the, basically the unit rate. Okay, so I'm going to take, scroll these up, I'm going to take $1.52, so I'm comparing $1.52 divided by 10 compared with $1.45 divided by 9. That's what I'm comparing. So on this one, when you divide by 10, you just back the decimal up once, so 1.52. So what that means is they're a little bit over 15 cents per roll, per Tootsie Roll. Now the $1.45, 1.45 divided by 9. So this one says 0.16 with a 1 repeating per roll. Now you just have to use a little bit of common sense here. Would you rather pay 15 cents every roll you buy or 16? I personally would rather buy the 15 cents because those are cheaper. Okay, so this is the cheaper. So since it's cheaper, it's the better buy. And so that's kind of what's going on there with better buy questions. I think I have a couple more. So I've got Casey's 15 gallons of gas for $35.10. And Come and Go, I guess, is going to sell 12 gallons for $29.28. All right, so it's the same thing. We're just going to find which one's cheaper. So make sure you always take the money divided by the amount of gallons. So I'm going to take 35.10, oops, $35.10 divided by 15 versus $29.28 versus 12. Okay, so we're just going to see. 35.10 divided by 15 is $2.34. Okay, 29.28 divided by 12 is $2.44. Well, with gas, I would rather pay $2.34 per gallon compared to $2.44 per gallon. This was cheaper, so Casey's is actually the better buy this time. Okay, the last one I had, you can get 30 20-ounce Yetis for $870. Okay, we'll see how those seem like those Yetis might be kind of expensive. So 5 students drop out, and now we've got 25 Yetis. How much is 25 Yetis going to cost is the question. Okay, so when you get a problem like this, you need to find out how much one Yeti. So what you're really asking yourself, what is one Yeti? Okay, so we need to find one. Well, once again, it's that one. We need to find the unit rate. And so we know that we can get 30 of these for $8.70. That means I'm going to take $870 divided by 30. So if I take $8.70 divided by 30, I get 29. So what that means is that they're $29 per Yeti, which I think is about actually what they are. But we don't need 30 of them. I need 25 of them. So now I'm just going to take 25 kids at $29 per Yeti. And it looks like I'm going to spend $725 to buy 25 kids Yetis. Okay, so that problem was a little bit different, set up a little bit differently, but you still had to find the unit rate to figure that out. Okay,